Justin.
The officials are Jeff Clark, Brian O'Connell, and Matt Potter. It'll be Martin Krompel jumping center against Jesse Govan.
Well, Justin, both these teams prefer up-tempo. They like to keep their foot on the gas, create a track meet pace. So buckle up. You've got your driver's license, aren't you?
I do have it now, yeah. Just got it last week.
Good, and we're in good hands. You're the wheel man.
Here is the freshman point guard, Akinjo. He had 11 assists in the first meeting. Pickett trying to post up against Zagorowski. Noticed in the mismatch. The double comes over. McClung's pull-up jumper. Little short. And now the rebound is corralled by Ballack. Open three for Davion Mintz.
Well, right on cue. That's when Creighton is at their best. They get down the floor, get organized as quickly as any team in the country for that quick strike offense.
He talked about these two teams liking to get up and down, the two high-scoring teams in conference. And a turnover by Pickett. Patrick Ewing in his second year as the head coach for the Hoyas, as we mentioned at the top, coming off his biggest win as the head coach for Georgetown, that 85-73 victory over Villanova.
A big one indeed, and his first over a top 25 team, and there'll be many more victories for Coach Ewing. Nice.
Mitch Ballack from three. Both field goals, three-point field goals for one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation.
Well, Ballack gets great rotation, a quick trigger, excellent release.
Akinjo gets the screen by LeBlanc. Ballack battling with LeBlanc, shot clock at 8. McClung wants the screen, good hedge by Ballack. McClung has to fire up the three, no, and a good box out and rebound by Krompel.
Stops and shutouts lead to runouts. Creighton, good judgment here, playing against a set defense. Get into your offense, little continuity, put some touches on the ball.
The handoff for Alexander. Krompel roll to the hoop. Alexander for three. And the rebound by Govan.
Got the green light, pull the trigger. Emerald City green light.
A traveling call against LeBlanc. 6-0 start for the Blue Jays. Greg McDermott, now in his 9th season, is second all-time for the Blue Jays behind the man who preceded him, Dana Altman, who's now at Oregon. You can see that bandage on Zagorowski's shooting hand. That's because he broke a bone in that hand, missed 3 games.
Well, that's emblematic of the Murphy's Law, the tough luck that the Creighton Blue Jays have had this year. And we'll talk about that a bit.
Davion Mintz deceives Portland in a timeout called by Patrick Ewing.
Coach Ewing wants to talk it over. Where's the rotation defensively?
Nothing. Blue Jays leading the Hoyas to start this game, and watch the defense, or lack thereof, for Georgetown.
Yeah, good ball movement. Creighton trying to lift the Hoyas defense, and then Mintz just sees the lane and attacks. No help side, no rotation. Good timeout early. The Hoyas, both ends of the floor, not executing.
Their first 4 possessions, a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed field goals. LeBlanc, a couple of offensive rebounds, and finally puts it in.
As gifted a freshman as there is in the Big East. Josh LeBlanc, the length, the feel, made that play look easy. Tapping in his own miss. One-handed tap at that.
And a foul on the floor is going to be called here against Jesse Govan. That's going to be his first. It'll be an interesting matchup, Cromwell against Govan. Talk about some great freshmen. Zegarowski, another one of those great freshmen in the Big East. A turnover by Alexander as he gets called for a travel.
Yeah, just in a bit of a rush, hasty. Shuffled the feet. Got to catch it first, establish that pivot.
It's Alexander against McClung.
Good defense here early by the Blue Jays, moving the feet, active hands, good help defensively.
Pickett, no good, and this is out of bounds off of Creighton. It will stay Georgetown ball. You can see that Georgetown wants to get the ball to Pickett because he has the mismatch with Zegarowski. It will stay Georgetown ball.
And Georgetown wisely looking to explore the matchup advantages, and yet you can't force. So there's that balance between investigating with purpose, give it a look, but if it's not there, then move it.
And Kinjo off. Another rebound for Ballack. The look-ahead pass intercepted by Govan.
Good retreat there. Transition defense by Govan, and the vision to be able to see the ball coming and intercept.
Another good hedge with a double by Cromwell. Another turnover here by the Hoyas. LeBlanc thought he had Govan. LeBlanc looking back at Patrick Ewing, like what's going on? Yeah, and now substitutions.
Yeah, and a good idea in terms of looking high-low, but just not executed. The idea, though, a good one.
Connor Cashaw comes in, as does Samson Froling for the Blue Jays. Georgetown with 3 turnovers. They have more turnovers than points as of right now. Just 1 of 7 from the floor to open up this game. And now the Blue Jays have 3 turnovers as well. So a quick start by Creighton, got off to an 8-0 lead. Now they've turned it over a couple of times. But this, the highlight thus far, the slam by Dave.
Chronicled this indoor tailgate that takes place annually here at Creighton, and the whole community rallies around beer nights. McClung, nice little stop and pop off the bounce there, showing his ability offensively. A good response coming out of that timeout by the Hoyas.
Mac McClung averages 13.5 points per game, leads freshman scorers in the Big East.
Both these teams early, 3 turnovers apiece, so in that first timeout, I'm sure coaches are talking about passing and catching, coming to meet passes, closing down distance between passer and receiver, just being more solid with the basketball.
Hens with a shot clock winding down, can't finish. Pickett with a rebound. Kinjo will leave it back for Pickett. Both teams just having trouble handling the basketball.
Yeah, and it comes from a good place. It's adrenaline, understanding the significance of the moment. Late season games in February, awful shot. McClung almost looked as though he was trying to throw it off the board to catch it himself and put one down, but he's not quite ready in terms of that stage of his career, maybe down the line.
I mean, just Zegarowski turning it over, LeBlanc the other way. I mean, just a horrific start by these teams as far as a clean play is concerned. Connor Cashaw, the transfer out of Rice.
Getting into a set, getting organized is a good way to deal with some of those nerves, going a little too fast in your judgments.
Ends for 3, in and out, and a rebound for Govan.
A good look just didn't go down. You'll live with that over the course of the season if you're the coach of Creighton.
McClung open for 3. That's online, and all of a sudden, McClung has made it a 1-point game. A 7-0 run by the Hoyas.
And that was simple, right? Pass, catch, square up to the rim, and release it.
Rolling. Kick out, Mitchell on the baseline. Extra pass, Zegarowski's a great 3-point shooter, knocks it down. Leads the conference in 3-point shooting, and the Blue Jays do that right there. 11-7, Creighton on top.
Creighton aggressive on Georgetown's on-ball screens.
LeBlanc, the free throw line jumper, no. The rebound is pulled down by Tyshawn Alexander.
Govan has been blanketed here early, effectively by Blue Jays defense. See, that's a poor choice there. Throwing the ball into a crowd. Wow.
LeBlanc can't save it as he's on the baseline. Another turnover.
We could open up a bakery here with the amount of turnovers we've seen, but here's a Kinjo off the bounce. A little crossover and the give up. McClung knocks one down, and Zagorowski squares the bucket. Slow closeout by the Hoyas, and he takes advantage. Bottoms.
A couple of subs on both teams. Zagorowski goes to the bench. Back into the game is Mitch Ballack. Davion Mintz also checking in for the first time. Christian Bishop for the Hoyas. Jagan Mosley has come in. Also in for the first time is Trey Mourning.
Creighton gives you a number of different looks offensively in terms of alignments there. The horn set, the two bigs coming to the top of the floor. The on-ball screen to initiate their motion offense. On that pass.
Turns it over, another one. What do you say about that bakery?
No, time to open a bakery here. A lot of turnovers on both sides. And again, a deep breath. Don't force. Just make the simple play. Hit the open man and let the game come to you.
Pickett's three. Offline, the rebound for Connor Cashock. Good move by Ballack. Cannot hit the three. Mosley gets the rebound, and Georgetown looks to run.
So now you're facing set defense. This is where you've got to play inside out. Wow, another pass down at Warning's feet. Not sure if Rico Clemente could have caught that one, or Ozzie Smith for that matter.
Usually when we go to break, we show highlights. Right now, there are no highlights to show. It's all turnovers. 11 total turnovers in the first 8 minutes.
Discombobulated, a bit unnerved here on the road at Creighton. So you want to calm them down, and then very instructive in terms of put some touches on the ball, take your time, and how to handle the aggressive on-ball screening defense that Creighton's employed here. Almost a double-team approach. And so move to an opening, hit the open man, and explore opportunities. But take that deep breath. That's so important. Don't be in a hurry.
There's Tyshawn Alexander not in a hurry with the shot clock down to 2, able to put it in.
Coach Wooden had that legendary phrase, be quick, but don't hurry. And never mistake activity for achievement. Another one of his favorite quotes. Another turnover.
Zagorowski able to knock it away.
You want to play with passion, right? But you have to be intelligent and purposeful in your approach. Intensity is very important, but there has to be the intelligence within that intensity. Georgetown here struggling to find that balance.
Well, there's the guy who can bring it from the outside, Greg Malinowski, the transfer from William & Mary.
Quick ball movement by the Hoyas. Malinowski sees the opening and strokes it. Another turnover here by the Hoyas. Good finish by Kinjo.
Able to take the bump by Kaleb Joseph. It's a 1-point game.
Each turnover is costly. The value of the possession.
And there's the three by Tyshawn Alexander, which now ties a Creighton record, 31 straight games.
And good ball movement there from one side of the floor to the other to find the open man, passing and catching. Add a little spacing, some velocity on your cuts, and get yourself a good shot.
Good shot there for Trey Mourning. The three by Alexander ties the mark set by Booker Woodfox back in 2008-2009.
And Mourning, they're very comfortable on that catch. Didn't put it on the floor, bring it down, took it right up, using his size there to finish. Out of bounds off of Crumple. Look at the penetration, the extra pass, the equivalent of a hockey assist So important. That one more pass so often is the one that leads to a better look from the perimeter when you've got a team in rotation. Play hot potato.
Davion Mintz is coming back in for Kaleb Joseph. As far as a difference between this game and the first meeting between these two, how about this? The Blue Jays had 7 total turnovers in that meeting back in January. They already have 7 turnovers today.
Yeah, a season low, and guess what? They also put 91 points up on the board in that game, which has been a season high in conference play for Creighton. And so offensive efficiency, getting more shots on the rim as a result of not turning the ball over, is one of the formulas for success. Cropple
kicks it out. Mintz for 3. Got it again. Davion Mintz off to a good start here for the Blue Jays. He's got 8 points early on.
Aggressive move there by Cropple in the post, which draws attention of Georgetown, and then Cropple jump stops and kicks the ball back out. There's Mourning, so comfortable at the mid-range. Efficient there again, no use to bounce, just takes it right up.
Damian Jefferson is in. Cropple against Mourning. Cropple has it blocked by Mourning. Javon Blair in for the Hoyas. Mourning left open for 3, comes up short. That was Cropple just daring him to shoot that 3.
Too much arm in that shot, not enough legs to get the lift.
Jefferson attacks the hook, has it altered by Mourning. Cropple takes it away. And a foul will be called here against Trey Mourning.
We've seen multiple times now, Cropple once in the post after making a move, kick the ball back out to an open teammate there on an offensive rebound. Great time to survey the floor and kick it out to an open player on the perimeter as well. So using his intelligence with his catches and possessions.
Samson Froling comes in for Cropple. Govan is back in now for the Hoyas. Froling against Govan. Govan does have 1 foul already. Froling going at him. No. He's able to finish.
Nice old school jump hook there. Carved out some position, uses the bounce, and goes off the window. It's your best friend when you're in tight quarters. The glass.
Blair on the floor with Mosley. Govan can hit the 3. Using the glass, puts it in. Wow. Jesse Govan, who shoots it at 42% from deep. I'm not sure he shoots it like that from 42%.
When you're feeling it, why not? Heat check coming off his last game against Villanova, the best of his career.
Alexander, good pass. Sidorowski to answer right back. No, Mosley with the rebound. 2-point lead. Malinowski for the lead for the Hoyas. He's got it. His second 3 and a timeout taken here by Greg McDermott.
When they consider Georgetown as a potential NCAA tournament-worthy bid, but also they're going to have their opportunities in New York. Now they finish on the road in conference play, 2 road games. They're looking to pick up as many as they can in any fashion.
Kaleb Joseph, good ball fake, and he puts it in.
Well, good answer there. They try and defend you, run you off the 3-point line, put it on the deck, get to that mid-range stop and pop, shoot a high percentage look.
And notice how Patrick Ewing has gone with the veterans here on the floor right now for the Hoyas. Those 3 freshmen, they're on the bench. Kaleb Johnson, no, on the floor. Froling's got it. Here comes Jefferson up ahead for Mintz. Froling is left open underneath, and they missed him.
Important here is Creighton recognizing they're facing a Georgetown set defense. So put some touches on the ball, reverse it, find the open man, give yourself a chance to get fouled or a better look.
There's a 3 by Kaleb Joseph, providing a spark off the bench, the transfer out of Syracuse.
And that comes from some patience. And both these teams have executed more proficiently when they put touches on the ball. Game's not complicated. Play inside out, reverse it, find the open man, and along the way you might pick up some fouls, get closer to the 1-and-1 and eventually the double bonus.
That's a foul against Samson Froling. The first foul against the Blue Jays comes with 5:56 to go. They haven't had to foul because of all the turnovers. Now a couple of the freshmen come back in, Mac McClung and Josh LeBlanc for Georgetown.
To your point about the turnovers, those empty possessions will kill you, whether you're at home or on the road, but in particular when on the road.
McClung picked up the dribble, trying to find LeBlanc. He does, too strong off the glass.
LeBlanc missed some point-blank range shots here early.
Alexander against LeBlanc with the left hand, able to finish.
That was just a straight line drive, attacking the feet, one bounce, covered a lot of territory of the basketball court. Efficient footwork, long strides, and the finish.
It was a 1-point lead for the Hoyas, and now a traveling violation against Govan. And all of a sudden,
yeah, Mosley has to make a better decision there and be the eyes for Govan on that roll. He couldn't have done anything with it. Now here's that big, long stride, using the one bounce and gathering off the feet, put it down off the window.
7-0 run here for Creighton to take a 6-point lead as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, Creighton opens up the floor at times. We'll have 5 men on the perimeter.
Rolling. He's going to get called for a travel. Quickly up off the bench is Martin Krompel. He's going to come in, replacing Froling. Also in, James Akinjo back for the Hoyas.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do as an offensive player when you receive a pass is to square up, establish a pivot foot. Again, sometimes players are trying to catch the ball and make a move before they've gathered, and that's where turnovers occur. Just a fraction of a second to gather the feet on the catch.
McClung using the catch and shoot, came up short. Krompel gets the rebound. Vince says, come on, get a trailer. Alex swings it out. Joseph for 3 again. Kaleb Joseph provided that spark off the bench. A 10-0 run by the Blue Jays and a timeout taken here by Georgetown.
And it's what the Blue Jays do, Justin. A 3-point bonanza. Coach McDermott gives his chance.
You know, our motto is kind of let it fly, and we're going to play fast. We're going to play loose. If we have open shots, I expect our guys to take them and not turn them down, especially 3-point shots.
Well, here it is, case in point, Exhibit A. And Creighton will get them in a number of ways. Here off a half-court set, a high ball screen, a read-and-react situation. We saw one in transition here again on the half-court, attacking that 3-point line. And it's how they win, is their transition basketball and the 3-point attack, playing at a pace that's unique.
They shoot it at 40.1%, good for 5th in the nation. A nice play out of the timeout for Patrick Ewing's Hoyas.
LeBlanc, as I mentioned earlier, arguably the best freshman prospect. When you look to the next level, the NBA, 10 years down the line, don't be surprised that he's not a high-level professional player.
Good ball here by Govan, resets the shot clock to 20.
LeBlanc has the ingredients that you can't teach. There's a fluidity, a grace that he plays the game with, and then obviously the physical prowess when you look at his length, his ability to run like a deer, rim to rim. I think defensively he could become a force, not only in college, but the next level.
Quick pass by Bowden to a cutting Krompel.
Well, that is a result of cohesive basketball, but also when you knock down threes, you force opponents to stretch defensively. And now the counter are those back cuts, and also dribble, purposeful bounce into gaps that are created through the spread of the 3-point shot and the spacing. Look at how spread Creighton is, and they open up the gut for that 2-man basketball, and the excellent cut, the target hand and finish, a good delivery as well.
Akinjo to inbound.
the gut of the defense, that is.
A deep three by Pickett. And now a foul against LeBlanc, and that'll be his first. 3:36 to play here in this opening half. 33-24, Blue Jays on top of the Hoyas. And this crowd, usually at the CHI Health Center in Omaha, is generally packed to the gills, over 17,000. But because of the weather, it is far from packed today. Joseph trying to slip it to Kaleb, able to get it, and it's the largest lead of the game for Creighton. How about Kaleb Joseph off the bench? She had 8 points as part of that 10-0 run. Kinjo's pull-up jumper. Ooh, LeBlanc just hit the floor hard going up for that rebound.
Coach McDermott thought that he touched the ball on the rim, wanted offensive goaltending.
I thought that was going to be the call too, instead of foul called against Ballack, and now it's LeBlanc still on the ground. And it looks like he's holding that left wrist. Watch it again as he goes down. Did he try to brace the fall? He did with that left wrist. Yeah, the basket will be good.
Yeah, nudged slightly there in the back by Ballack. And just enough to lose his balance.
And you can see right now, Greg McDermott is speaking with the officials. He doesn't know why that was not basket interference.
Talking to the officials in terms of their positioning to be able to see this.
Yeah, I think Greg McDermott is correct. That's what I thought they were going to call when the whistle was blown.
If we had a camera angle from the top of the backboard, you'd be able to see with more clarity. Tough from a side angle to be able to determine whether it was over the circumference of the rim or outside of it. But wisely, Coach McDermott going to lobby, and sometimes you don't get this call, but it's one down the line that you're after, because you know this one's passed. You're not going to be able to get it reversed.
And by the way, he spoke with each of the 3 officials to plead his case.
F.B. Bailey, Johnny Cochran, Shapiro approach. That's part of the responsibility of a coach, is to lobby on his team's behalf to the officials.
Kaleb Johnson gets the follow to go. So that's a 4-point possession right there for the Hoyas, and nearly a turnover here by Creighton.
You've seen Creighton attack the 3-point line, but on their recent possessions, start to probe or explore the paint as well. Another 3-ball.
There it is. Marcus Zagorowski off the feed by Kaleb Joseph.
And Joseph there maneuvering well off the bounce into the paint to get Georgetown to collapse, and then fans the ball back out. Intelligent basketball.
Zagorowski switched the type of brace, the splint he has on that hand. He's shooting the ball much better today. As another steal. It's Joseph. Joseph, the kick out. Alexander lost it on the way up. Patrick Ewing was saying that should have been a travel. Jeff Clark said, nope, it was Roberts. Is the alley-oop to Crumble. And a timeout taken by the Hoyas.
Once again, knock him down from the 3. And then probe, explore the paint for the high percentage look. Timeout. In terms of alignments, and then good reads and reaction in terms of playing in pairs, like a dance, well choreographed 2-man game.
The Blue Jays shooting 64% from the floor so far in this game. 1:30 to go. Govan picked up his first foul early, has now picked up his second. Trying to move the ball around, shot clock at 8. Akinjo gets into the paint, leaves it off for Govan. Beautiful assist by Akinjo.
Yeah, in tight quarters too, Justin. Not easy to do. Taking it into the crowded closet right at the rim. And the good give up, sharing the sugar. Govan the recipient. High percentage look.
Mintz waiting for Joseph, who's had the hot hand here in the half. The kick out, Malik for 3. Off the back of the rim, Cropper got a hand on it. Pickett's got the rebound. Govan runs the floor. He's able to get the roll.
Pickett with the strike. Talk about velocity, a dime. And then Govan wisely didn't bring it down. He's able to use his body to shield the ball from defenders and get himself a layup.
Alexander had it stripped on the way up. It still almost went in, and now Georgetown can hold for the final shot. And a good look on the floor. Davion Mintz got hit in the head. He's slow to get up. Akinjo puts it in, and now we have the whistle. It looked like Mintz took a knee to the head as he was diving for the loose ball.
Wild sequence. Errant pass, loose ball, rugby scrum breaks out. Akinjo goes behind the back, little hesitation dribble one more time.
That's the collision. Kaleb Johnson hits the head of Davion Mintz. So 11.9 seconds to go. Alexander against the long Jamarco Pickett.
High ball screen here by Cromple.
Alexander to the hoop. And they're going to wave it off. Wait a minute. Yes, it's going to be an offensive foul against Tyshawn Alexander. It was an incredible finish, and let's see where he is.
Boy, bang, bang, Govan there, blocking the angle. This is a better look. I give Mosley credit, putting his body on the line. The question is, was he already in the air as an offensive player while Mosley was still sliding defensively into position?
McClung is in, trying to get the shot off. He can't. He has it stripped. It's a 6-point game at the half. A 6-0 run by the Hoyas to close out the half. Coming up with a Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. We'll get you to the guys. Mike Hill, Casey J. Points in that first half on 3 of 3 from the floor, 2 of 2 from three-point land. Also a couple of assists. He's making Orlando Jones very proud as they look like twins. The Blue Jays will start with the ball here in the second half. Is their original starting 5 on the floor. Mintz, Balance, Figurowski, Cromple, and Alexander. Alexander with the ball in the corner, guarded by Pickett. Here's Cromple against Govan. And away puts it in.
And a good look coming out of the locker room. First possessions and the first 3-4 minutes are an indication of what these teams plan to do in the second half. And Creighton going inside first to play through Cromple and, of course, establish the rim game, which opens up the three-point game.
Cromple trying to save it. He does to Mintz. A fresh 30 here for the Blue Jays. Alexander goes baseline. Can't finish with a two-hand dunk.
Pickett may have gotten a piece of that. Tested it well with his length.
Govan for 3. He's strong. Can't get out open at this hour. Cromple up the head, has it blocked, and a foul's going to be called against McClung. Mac McClung, who's just 6'2", but has that vert over 40 inches, went up high to try to block it.
And Cromple, in transition, wise to go right under the rim. So often players will run and try and post up on the block outside the lane. Run right to the rim. Put your head under the rim.
Cromple misses the first free throw. This is the first 2 free throw attempts of the game. And he misses both. Pickett, the quick pass to Govan. 2 feet, the block is there, and he will now go to the free throw line for 2. A foul will be called against Tyshawn Alexander. That's going to be number 2 against Alexander.
Georgetown, for whatever reason, in this afternoon's game, have tried to make very difficult passes. And that's one of the keys. When you catch the ball and you face, you need to be able to read the defense and not throw the ball into a congested area. Don't try and thread the needle. Those are low percentage plays. You can still get the ball inside, but it might be high-low, or you might have to reverse the ball to the other side of the floor. Maybe some dribble penetration, draw some help, and then make that easy pass instead of trying to jam it in there. Judgments are so important offensively.
Mintz now running the point for the Blue Jays. Zagorowski off the ball. Here he comes for 3. Passes it off to Ballack. And Zagorowski will draw the foul against Akinjo. You could see Akinjo realize what was happening, tried to avoid it. He could not.
I've seen a number of times Creighton drive the ball in the lane and then 2-foot jump stop, and then use the pivot to survey the floor, and then the Blue Jays will cut or slide, spot up, or open looks. Ballack in particular likes to drive it in there and jump stop.
Nearly a travel against Alexander. Mintz on the baseline, shot clock at 3, has to get a shot up. He does for 3, and the rebound by LeBlanc. Kinjo's been quiet so far, he turns it over. Ballack, the trailer, 1 dribble, pull up for 3, got it. He asked for that, he let his teammate know that he was trailing, and he got it.
Well, that's the importance of that nonverbal communication. Put your hands up, target, and in transition again. Great able to catch Georgetown. Wow, just a rock.
McClung way off the mark. Alexander, he gets fouled. Is this on the pass or the shot?
Transition basketball. The Jays taking advantage.
Watch Ballack.
With Hoya down, you got the numbers, 5-on-4. Ballack, the recipient for the catch and shoot opportunity. A slow closeout or scramble. No sense of urgency there defensively by the Hoyas. Coach Ewing won't be happy when they watch that game film tomorrow.
No, he's pulling both his freshman guards right now in favor of Mosley and Malinowski. Kroppel for 3, nothing but net. Largest lead of the game. It's now 13.
That's Creighton math. Gets the Blue Jay faithful out of their seats.
Malinowski, foul's going to be called here against Kroppel, who nearly got the steal. Don't forget, with this run now for the Blue Jays, Patrick Ewing has just 1 timeout remaining in addition to the media timeouts.
Well, early in the game when a team is struggling, a coach is sometimes forced to utilize those timeouts and try and stem the bleeding.
Box out here by Davion Mintz off the miss from Malinowski. And now a foul will be called against Trey Morning.
Going back to that Blue Jay math, Justin, on the season, Creighton, 40% of their points are generated from behind the 3-point line, and 46% of all their field goal attempts are a result of launching rockets.
They're good at it. 5th in the nation.
Let it fly. The mantra. They also probe or explore intelligent basketball as Kroppel there looked for the backdoor cut. And you see how when they come down, knock down a couple threes, get defenses to extend, cat and mouse chess match, now they'll look to put the ball inside or run an on-ball screen, but slip a big and create a foot race to the rim and take advantage of an opponent's defense that's extended or distorted and more vulnerable for the basket area.
Javon Blair has checked in. Corner 3 for Alexander. No, Mintz gets the offensive rebound. Kroppel for 3 again. And a rebound for Blair. Malinowski, the quick catch and release shot. Doesn't go down. The Blue Jays trying to run. Valley saves it to Zagorowski. They'll reset.
Quick ball movement, that's that reversal. The pass is faster than the bounce. Nothing wrong with the dribble, but make sure it's a purposeful use of the bounce. No wasted dribbles.
That's a foot on the line. They're going to look at that at the timeout for 2. A 10-0 run by the Blue Jays to start this half in Georgetown. They can't wait for that next whistle. That'll lead to a timeout. LeBlanc doesn't want to shoot a 3. He does like to attack. Charge. Ballot, who's playing with an injured elbow, is able to draw the charge. The Blue Jays lead by 18 right now. A 10-1 to start the half. Up 50-35.
Conference play, but Marquette consistently balanced approach, the most improved defense when you look at their numbers from last year to this year of any team in the Big East.
Speaking of defense, Georgetown has gone to a 2-3 zone here out of the timeout.
And a way to try and just mix up, take Creighton out of rhythm, but
when you get rolls like that. Earlier it was turnovers that led to a bakery, and now rolls off the rim. The bakery still open. A 13-1 run by the Blue Jays. Morning to Malinowski. Fires the 3, knocks it down. They needed that, the first field goal of the half for the Hoyas.
Creighton a little slow on their closeout there. Ashaw got to get the hands up, especially on Malinowski. Whether you're zone man in a scramble, got to find shooters, have shooter awareness. Tough pass right at the feet again.
Mosley. They find Malinowski. Goes down low for Morning and gets fouled by Tyshawn Alexander.
Great punch. He is number 5. Alexander is third Blue Jays.
At the free throw line is Trey Morning. Our academic ambition, sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right. Pursuing a master's degree in sports management. Already graduated with a double major. And this is one of the coolest things. Obviously, Trey Morning, the son of Alonzo Morning. In Trey Morning's phone, he has his coach listed as Uncle Patrick.
How about that? Not only having a father that's an all-time great, but then Patrick Ewing, a Hall of Famer, the tutelage.
And he says, he's like, you know, having Uncle Patrick as his coach, they'll have real talks. And he may scold him for what he did in practice or in a game, and afterwards they both end up by saying, I love you. It's pretty cool.
Very unique. How about a gift?
How about the gift? It is Kaleb Joseph taking off the bench now with 11. He's perfect from the floor.
Creighton loves those deep corners. Another way to utilize spacing to distort defenses. Both in transition, you'll see the Blue Jays streak like a fly pattern to that deep corner and really create problems defensively for teams. You've got to pick your poison. You stretch to the corners, you're more vulnerable in the basket area. There's more lanes to drive into. The lane is open for back cuts as well. But if you don't guard that corner, they're going to launch rockets and tickle the twine.
So tough as they go backdoor alley-oop for Krompel. And Krompel can't handle it out of bounds. But to go zone 2-3 against a three-point shooting team like the Blue Jays, that's when you know you're just trying to look for answers, because that's not usually what you like to do.
No, and yet with Georgetown's length, sometimes you can guard the three-point line better, and you're not as prone to being beat off the bounce where you're put in rotation. And so tough to do it when you're trailing by 16 points.
They're able to hit the top of the key 3.
But if you have a hunch, bet a bunch. And I like the flexibility in Patrick Ewing's thinking, exploring, looking for some combination of players and also alignments on offense and defense to get your team back in the game. That's coaching.
There's the first miss of the game for Kaleb Joseph. On the floor right now you don't have a ton of shooters. Malinowski's the one really good outside shooter. Off the miss, Blair can't put it in, and it's going to be Georgetown ball. Froling will come back in. Ballack will come back in for the Blue Jays.
Malinowski on that last three-point attempt didn't get his feet squared, therefore his body or shoulders wasn't squared, and then he shot somewhat of a UFO, not quite, but almost.
Patrick Ewing is trying to argue for a couple of calls. Mourning now for three. Back rims it. Rebound the blow. Blair for three, and he gets fouled on the three on the closeout by Marcus Zegarowski. So 3 free throws coming up here for Javon Blair. The second foul against Zegarowski, 4th against the Blue Jays. So now Javon Blair will head to the free throw line. Blair, a guy who last year was part of the all-freshman team, averaging 9 points per game. This year, just over 4 points per game. His minutes cut significantly with James Akinjo as a starting point guard.
Creighton with that commanding lead, letting it slip away some turnovers, empty possessions, foul a three-point shooter, and all of a sudden, an opportunity to cut into that lead. Now 11, a chance to go to 10.
Freshman backcourt on the bench right now for Georgetown. Patrick Ewing not happy with their performance so far today, but let's also talk about this. The Hoyas coming off their biggest win of the season. And what you want is a chance to back that up. I mean, this would be a quad 1 win on the road against the Blue Jays, and they made it a 10-point game.
And it speaks, when you look at the scores in conference play, top to bottom, just not much of a margin for error. Razor thin, matter of fact, margin for error. Second time, big fellas had the traveling issue. Got to again gather, get a lower center of gravity, drop that fanny down like an anchor, so you don't shuffle those feet. Playing too upright like a chopstick.
Going to make it a 7-point game. Can't hit, and the rebound corralled by Kaleb Joseph. This could be one of those big swings right here. Joseph attacking the hoop, and the foul. A season high for Kaleb Joseph. He's got 13, a chance to make it 4. He's got now 14 on the day.
Active and alert, aggressive as well on his catches.
Javon Blair, step back for 3. Front legs it, throwing with the rebound. Trey Mourning is on the floor with 4 fouls right now for the Hoyas.
The last 3 minutes here, Georgetown's had their opportunities, but not converting, settling some too for the perimeter, not exploring the post first, whether it's a pass or off the bounce.
Blair stepping into his defender, Joseph, creates some room and able to finish.
No, that was an attack on the basket and rewarded. A tough shot there. Took his time after the jump shot, explored and found daylight.
It's 8 points now for Blair off the bench. Rolling against Mourning with those 4 fouls. Shot clock now at 8. Ballack, the deep 3. Off the back of the rim and a rebound for Javon Blair. And a turnover by Blair. Just not a good entry pass to the post. Martin Cronk will come back in.
Yeah, tough angle from there to feed the post. Then he also picked his dribble up, which didn't allow him to then bring it free throw line or lower, where you can drop that pass. Yeah, not reading the defense. And just some judgments that'll be reviewed during the film session tomorrow with Coach Ewing or whenever they're able to get back home. We've got the private jet. They can get the green light. They'll watch it tomorrow, Georgetown. They may be here with us.
I'm going to say they're going to be here with us.
Snowmageddon. A lot of texts about the storm coming in.
Mintz gets the screen by Crumple. Joseph, nice find underneath to Jefferson, can't finish. And Mosley's got it. Govan is back in the game, altered that shot. He's been quiet, only 7 points on the day.
See if Georgetown looks to get an interior touch. There's one.
Was able to finish. Even with Jefferson trying to pull the chair out from behind him. Crumple, the trail 3. And the rebound for Kaleb Johnson. Single digits right here for the Hoyas.
Another touch for the big fella.
Govan has it blocked by Ballot. Ballot to the corner. Joseph attacking the hoop again. Puts it in. Career high for Kaleb Joseph.
And how about Ballot? Defensively, as well as offensively, just alert, aggressive, intelligent basketball. Alex seemingly everywhere.
A foul here against Jefferson.
Here's the post feed and just the back down, use the bounce. Govan finishes. Here Crumple walling up and allows Ballot to come like Batman, give him a cape from the weak side, block that shot, and then he leads the fast break, which is impressive. That's
Looking like his head coach Patrick Ewing just can't put it in. Ballot being hounded by Malinowski.
Just the ball of energy Ballot is. Be fun to coach. Keep it interesting.
Crumple for 3. He puts it in. Martin Crumple, who over his last 17 games is shooting it at 40% from three-point land. He just gave you a look, didn't he?
What a story he is. Gotta love it. The comeback from the knee surgeries.
3 ACLs, that's what he's come back from. Ballot to behind the back pass. Mintz came at the 3, Malinowski up ahead for Blair.
Big swing there.
And now Patrick Ewing says to Akinjo, get up, you're going in.
Both teams a little gassed. Creighton wisely going to conserve some energy here. Get into a half-court set. They've got to stay aggressive. Can't put it on ice too early for that, but I like the idea of conserving some fuel, catch your breath with an offensive possession.
Ballot, skip pass. And the rebound, tough contact, no whistle. Mosley leaves it off for Kaleb Johnson. That's back to a 10-point game.
Pretty sharing of the basketball in transition. Mosley there with the give up.
The fans here at the CHI Health Center not happy with the no call on the box out of Crumple. Crumple, after hitting a couple of threes, draws a foul against Govan. And that will be 1-1 when we come back.
Over the sweep of Marquette this season has put the Johnnies in a position where I think they've punched their ticket, barring a total collapse down the stretch.
And of course, those two teams match up tonight, Seton Hall and St. John's. And that'll be on FS1 as Martin Crumple is at the free throw line. Made the first for 1-1. And he doesn't get the roll on the second, just the 3rd rebound of the game for Govan. Justin Kutcher alongside Steve Lavin here in Omaha, Nebraska, where the blizzard is on its way. Govan for 3. He can get a better look than that down low.
And 6 of 22 the Hoyas are from long distance. So nothing wrong with the threes, but the quality of three-point shots so important if you expect to hit a high percentage.
Zagorowski against Akinjo, who is back in. Shot clock at 8. Alexander for 3. His second 3 of the game. He has hit a 3 in 31 straight games, which ties a school record.
Nice give up there by Zagorowski, too. Dribbles it into the paint or the lane, then a little pitch back, almost like an option quarterback in football. finding his open teammate.
Govan gets doubled right away, and this is going to be out of bounds. Trying to prove his case against Jet Clark, and you see the difference between the first meeting, which Georgetown lost, and now today, a huge difference for Jesse Govan.
And credit Creighton's defense. That has not been their forte this year. Their offensive numbers impressive, defensive numbers Coach McDermott not pleased with. But today they played with activity, energy, and purpose defensively. And this is an example here as we look at the quick double. Balak, he's everywhere. And sometimes just that pressure is enough to unnerve an opponent, discombobulate them, lead to a turnover.
And they were working on that yesterday at practice. However, the man who came over for the double, and Mitch Balak, he did not practice yesterday because of an infection in his elbow. Had to get it drained earlier in the morning. And you see the pad on that elbow, but he was at practice watching and talking with the assistant coaches about the scouting report, about the plan, and he just executed that plan to perfection.
Yeah, very intelligent player for a sophomore. And I love the energy he brings. That's what I meant about a player I'd like to coach. And also has a little pizzazz, a little pop or style to his game. We saw that with the behind-the-back dribble, behind-the-back pass in transition earlier this half. But it's his energy that's infectious. He's bouncy, he's on his toes, he's alert.
Trey Mourning is back in, replacing Govan, and Mourning with a sweeping hook.
Love it, old school sweeping hook.
14-point lead coming up on 5.5 to play. Balak to the hoop again, and Balak going to the and one.
He's lobbying with the officials. He's had a full day, wears a lot of hats for the Blue Jays. Defensively, offensively, taking the officiating as well. Give him some credit.
Malinowski takes it back. A whistle by the official Brian O'Connell because Malinowski took a shot to the eye. And Patrick Ewing is pleading his case. Why wasn't that a foul?
Both these coaches not happy with the officiating.
Take a look. It was inadvertent contact there by Alexander.
It's so tough to tell. Coaches feel they're phantom calls, of course. Sometimes you go and watch a game and realize the official was right.
Now Blair gets called for the offensive foul. There was Davion Mintz to draw the charge, and Mintz has become a defensive stopper for this Creighton team.
Good defense by Mintz, and then again the judgments by Georgetown will be what Coach Ewing addresses.
Well, back into the game is Mac McClung for Mourning, as Georgetown needs some offensive firepower in there.
And I think judgment and choice is the most difficult aspect of basketball to coach. It usually comes with experience, obviously repetition to create good basketball habits. But sometimes a player has good judgment or he doesn't, and you eventually figure that out. He'll be on the bench if he doesn't have good judgment.
Ball comes out to Zagorowski, can't hit the three, and the rebound for Blair. Akinjo. McClung to the hoop, able to draw the foul, this time against Davion Mintz. And that's only because he came back around and got kind of raked across the arm. Mac McClung, James Akinjo, Marcus Zagorowski, three of the top freshman scorers in the league, and so far quiet for McClung and Akinjo. And now McClung missed the free throw.
And I was just going to say, McClung, spent some time on the bench, the equivalent of being on ice over there, the freezer. Yet on his first catch, the confidence, put it on the deck, takes it to the hoop. And that's what a scorer's mentality needs to be, no conscience. And I think Patrick Ewing has managed his freshmen exceptionally well as they go through some growing pains in Big East, but also start to develop confidence.
There by Balak, his sixth of the game to Crumple, who's now got 19.
Balak, the Tasmanian Devil, we saw him drive on his last catch to the bucket for the finish, and they're aggressive. Shows the ability, the intelligence, again, judgment to give it up for the high percentage look to Crumple.
Javon Blair has 13 on the day for Georgetown off the bench, the only player in double figures for the Hoyas. Inch to the corner to Zagorowski. Shot clock at 10.
Explore, don't they? They investigate opportunities.
Tyshawn Alexander, the air ball, and this will be Georgetown ball as we go to break with 3:27. But Mitch Balak
Triple the nylon.
and look at these numbers. His first 10 games was returning from that third torn ACL. Since then, he has been fantastic. He's got 19 points tonight. He's improved his three-point shooting as Malinowski puts in a three from 18.2% to 40%.
And as likable a player as there is in college basketball, and not just because he went through the 3 knee surgeries, that makes you root for him, but it's his humility, his grace, and just his overall first-class manner represent this program in such a fine fashion.
And he's really become the leader of this team. In practice, he's talking a lot. His nickname is Teeny. Balak with a shot clock at 6. No, the offensive rebound. For Teeny.
Well, this is an example of the entire possession of how Martin Crumple influences the game. Right here, little handoff, he rolls, targets for the ball, targets again as he carves out space, and he doesn't get the ball, but because he has inside position, he's able to get that great position like a volleyball player at the net and gets the putback and the old-fashioned three-point play.
22 points, 7 rebounds for Crumple. His third 20-point game of the season. We came in talking about the other big man, Jesse Govan, but it's Crumple who has stepped up today. And now Akinjo able to draw the foul.
It's nice when a selfless basketball player, a leader, is able to have the type of success that Martin Crumple has had this season, and in particular, as you illuminated of late. You look at the analytics, and his numbers have gone north.
So you look at the analytics?
Absolutely. Metrics, data, math, homing over numbers every night. If I were to go back to coaching, I'd be more analytic driven, really, than I was previous to the broadcast experience.
Jump ball possession arrow for Georgetown with 2:25 to go, but a big lead here for the Blue Jays. And this is something where Greg McDermott's team knows, hey, we got to close this one out because we've had some games that we've given away this year.
Absolutely, and it's that fine line where you want to maintain your aggressiveness, but also play with purpose.
Blair with a 3 makes it a 10-point game. He's got 16 points, all coming this half.
Nice coming off the baseline out of bounds play as well.
Big screen set against Akinjo by Crumple. And now a foul is going to be called against Georgetown. Double bonus. If you're Akinjo, you're saying, hey, somebody give me a heads up here.
This is called lumber, or getting... Taking a woodshed screen.
Tyshawn Alexander has 10 points.
Here it is in real time, Justin. Yeah, no one calling it out, just running into the brick wall. A legal play.
Yep.
If you lower that shoulder, that's where he called for an illegal screen, but had his feet set, didn't lean in on the screen. Kinjo just ran into him.
12-point lead, 2:05 to go. Blair has had the hot hand, comes up short this time, and Crumple taps it to Balak.
Once again, a controlled tip to an open teammate, just showing this alert approach, again, purposeful in their play.
Vince keeping that dribble going. And now he picks it up, and a timeout taken here by Greg McDermott. with 12 on the shot clock, trying to keep possession.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Watch
But a
out,
number of
coming
games.
this way. That was Mac McClung. Everything stays up. Everyone's all right. 8 seconds to go.
We were talking about the analytics earlier. When Creighton shoots 42% from long distance, they're 11-1, basically unbeatable. And when they're under 42%, they are 3-12, basically awful. So very reliant on that three-point shooting.
Rumpel had to put it up with the shot clock expiring. It's going to be a shot clock violation. I don't think that ever hit the rim. The officials are going to take a look at it, but it should be, I believe, a shot clock violation. Yeah.
We talked about flying saucers and UFOs, and Rumpel launched one there, but it's one they'll watch tomorrow when you win a game like this, and you'll have some chuckles, some laughs over a UFO or flying saucer that Rumpel just shot. If you lose the game,
Right.
It's definitely silent in those film study sessions.
Malinowski against Ballack. Puts up the three, and the weak side rebound for Alexander. Georgetown not fouling.
A good choice there by Ballack again. Get it out. Not hunting shots, not trying to pad his stats. But instead, let's salt this victory away.
You want one more stats for your analytics?
Yes.
When the Blue Jays score 75, they have won all their games. All their wins have come when they've scored at least 75.
Love it. Digging deep. Analytics alerts.
At the free throw line will be Tyshawn Alexander, double bonus, with under a minute to go. This Blue Jays team will close out their season with 2 games at home, 1 on the road, that game at Marquette. And you think about that graphic we showed, some of those losses were to Marquette, to Seton Hall twice. I mean, if you win those games, you're talking about this team being in the tournament as a lot.
Yeah, and they're still capable of making noise down the home stretch and in the Big East Conference tournament. And that's why each practice, each game opportunity is a chance to build that momentum, a drum roll as you prepare for New York and MSG and the attention of college basketball being shined on the Big East tournament. I'm a little biased. Can you tell?
As far as Georgetown's upcoming schedule, they're home against DePaul, Seton Hall, and then on the road to close things up against DePaul and at Marquette on the final Saturday of the regular season.
A tough loss for Georgetown, but high marks in his second year for Patrick Ewing, the way he's acclimated, the comfort level of being a head coach in college, all the years that he was studying the game, not only as a player with John Thompson's, Mike Jarvis in high school, but all the NBA coaches as well, and then the 16 years on the bench as an assistant working on his craft. And you can see he's in command of this team and program. Really impressed with his feel for coaching, a natural.
They just get it over the timeline, and now they can just about dribble it out. There it is. The Creighton Blue Jays, they're going to have a violation here because they don't have enough time on the game clock and shot clock. So there is the shot clock violation. They're going to inbound it, and the game will be over.
Well, Creighton, Justin, takes care of business. Hold serve at home. Continue to build momentum for the postseason. And of course, they let it fly, as they always do. The Blue Jays torch the nets from angles.
They did indeed. 3-point field goals, 14 of 34 for the Blue Jays. Martin Kroffel with his 5th double-double this year. The final score, 82-69. Creighton defeats Georgetown here at home and completes the season series sweep. For Steve Lavin and our entire Fox crew, this is Justin Kutcher saying so long from Omaha. Coming up back to the break, we'll take you to PBC Fight Champ Errol Spence Jr. versus Mikey Garcia, Part 1.